Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are rolling through the North American Pinball Championship and pinball-related activity in upstate New York.
Booyah! That's a very important addition there, because we're going to talk a lot about pinball today, Jim.
We're going to get into it.
It's true.
We're going to do this.
It's true. But before we get into that, we got to get into letting our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's know that they should subscribe, rate, and review the show. It helps us out a lot. Throw us a 5-star rating and a positive review. You can throw in a suggestion for something you would like us to cover in the future. Doesn't that sound great, Jim?
I think it sounds awesome. I don't
deal.
know. I feel like there's no other way you should be spending your time.
That's
so
true.
I'm going to be brutally frank with our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's about the world that they're living in right now as they're listening. You know? Now,
well, we need to listen to a little Upstate update if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, this is huge. This is really huge.
Well,
so
whoa! We can't.
No,
I get into it yet. We gotta.
I was waiting for you, man.
Okay. Well, here we go. I did that one like down an octave that time.
I was gonna say.
I don't know what happened.
I feel like you. You got to keep these folks on their toes.
It's true.
To be honest with you,
it's true.
Keeping it 100. All right. The Upstate update goes as such. So, my lady, my fiance, had a procedure done. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild in the world. Standard stuff. Had to go to the hospital. We're sitting there waiting in the hospital, and behind the curtain, I hear some conversation going on. It is a gentleman and a woman, and the gentleman's like, yeah, I was just upstate last weekend. I go on. Tell me more. And he's talking, and the woman's like, oh, you were upstate. And he goes, yeah, I was visiting my parents. And then that's when I was waiting for the $1 million question of where upstate.
Yep.
And sure enough, the woman asked where upstate, and he said Binghamton.
Whoa!
And I looked at my lady Dawn, and she said, "Don't ask him. Speak to him about this." And I said audibly, "Well, I'm from Binghamton." And he heard me, and he goes, "Wait a minute, someone's from Binghamton?" Comes from behind the curtain, and I go, "You're from Binghamton?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Binghamton." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's awesome. Where are you from in Binghamton?" And he said, "Vestal."
Oh no, we've discussed this before,
and we've talked about this on this show quite often. Repeatedly, we have spoken about this, and I summarily corrected that man and said, "My friend, you are not from Binghamton. You are from Vestal. It is where you receive your mail when you live there, just as I received my mail in Binghamton, New York."
Much like Dick's Sporting Goods from Vestal.
Right. They receive their mail. The Dick's location in Vestal would receive their mail there, just like I would receive my mail on Murray Street. And so we have a very brief conversation about upstate, where he lives now. It was delightful. As he ushered off, I said, "Go Golden Bears," which is the mascot for Vestal. And he said, "Wait a minute, go Patriots." I go, "That's right, baby."
There you go.
And
it's good to hear that this man wasn't immediately brought down to the ER for a broken ego.
Yeah, well, he lived to see another day. And
That's good.
Dawn let me know the reason he said it is because people don't know where Vestal is. And so Binghamton is the largest city close by.
I know exactly where Vestal is, and I know exactly where the Denny's used to be. I don't know. Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's know where Vestal is. That's all.
Goddamn right. And they know where Binghamton, New York is.
That's true. That's true.
13905, 13904, 232, and 1. They know the vibes. And that, my friends, is the Upstate update I've got for y'all today.
What an update. Pretty good.
Yeah, that was huge.
Pretty good stuff. Jim, we've got a huge topic today in that I have put a lot of notes and a lot of newspaper articles onto our sheet today.
Sure.
Should we get into today's oh my God, I can't talk. Today's topic all about the silver ball.
Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's unpack this.
All right, so again, today we're going to talk about the National American Pinball Championship, which is going to be held in Rochester this year. And at the time of this recording, it will be happening on Thursday, which is yesterday, if you're listening to the day this episode came out. So I want to give a little survey of history of pinball through the medium of Upstate New York.
Right.
And kind of leading up to the main event that will have happened, but we don't have a lot of details on the event itself because it hasn't happened yet. So let's take it back to the 1800s, Jim. It's not always great when we do that, but we're just gonna stick in the pinball lane for now.
Oh, not always. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Canal Talk was pretty fun for the most part. For the most part. Anyway, so 1800s pinball looks very different from what it looks like today. It's basically late 1800s. It's a bar top game. There's no flippers. You pull a little plunger back. It shoots a ball up, and you try and get it into a little hole. And there's little pins.
I've seen those. Yeah.
It's called like a bagatelle sometimes, and you can shake it around to try and it's very similar to if you were ever a kid on a long car ride, you may have had one of those little handheld like physical pinball games, not like electronic, where it's got the tiny little metal ball, you pull it back and it just shoots up and you try and get it into like a little slot. You familiar?
I am, yes.
That's essentially what we're talking about. It becomes super popular because we're heading into the Great Depression. It's a cheap form of entertainment. You can have it on a bar top, right? As it grows in popularity, and it's again associated with bars and whatnot, it becomes demonized. Basically, people think it's going to corrupt the youth. There's stories of kids who went to the drugstore to get a loaf of bread and came back with nothing because they put it all into the pinball machine. Right?
Okay. There's the source of demon, right?
Yes.
Is that it's addictive and that, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, addictive. It's a form of gambling. And I've got some newspaper articles from Upstate New York to kind of back this up. But it's this huge push. It's like front page news. Again, it's wildly popular. There's these machines everywhere. Basically, by the 30s, they look a little bit more like what we have today. It's on 4 legs. It's a bigger machine. It doesn't have flippers yet, though, right? So you're still just pulling a plunger back and trying to arc it into a slot or a hole.
Right.
We don't get flippers until 1947. So everyone's kind of thinking it's just a game of chance. There's no skill involved, but there definitely is. And let's jump to Endicott here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm familiar.
This is from 1939, the Endicott Daily Bulletin, Tuesday, February 7th, 39. Is it Owego?
It is Owego.
Owego board repeals pinball ordinance. Dr. S. Wells Thompson last night conducted his first village board meeting since he was named mayor of Owego after the resignation of Dr. Charles M. Cuneo several weeks ago. He spoke briefly to the trustees, lauding Dr. Cuneo as a good man, and then asked the cooperation of the board. He has already served 5 terms as mayor. Repeal of the 5-year-old pinball and slot machine ordinance was voted by the trustees after the discussion brought out that the measure produced only about $200 in revenue in 1 year. Trustees pointed out that as the order had been declared illegal in Ohio and that minors were allowed to play machines here, it would be well to repeal the ordinance. The ordinance will be dropped from Village Ordinance Code after 3 weeks advertisement of official set. So we're starting to see this push to make it illegal.
So how did this make money?
You're putting your penny in, your nickel in the machine, and then it releases the ball or set of balls to you.
Well, right? I get that, but the
great question.
It said the ordinance.
They tax it. They say, okay, you want to have a pinball machine in your bar? No problem. Give us $25 a year.
Sure. Okay, now I get it.
Yes. Thank you that's an excellent clarifying question. That's why this podcast is not just me talking about pinball for upwards of an hour.
I'm bringing the questions that this people need that the people want to ask but are afraid to.
Mm-hmm. And you see it in this article, like, well, they outlawed it in Ohio. We better do the same, right? And that's kind of this kind of cascading of making it illegal all throughout the United States. And there's a very famous incident that we'll get to in just a little bit. But now we're going to head to the Naples Record. This is from 1938, Naples, New York. Let's see. Hornell police have issued an order banning all pinball machines and punch boards. All payoff machines, as well as those that can be converted, must go. Again, see, we're starting to see it become illegal. A lot of the argument for pinball machines being illegal is that they would give you a free game or an extra ball, right? So if you get a certain score, unlock a certain achievement, hit enough of a particular target, it'll give you a free replay, right? So you're receiving something in turn. So that's how a lot of people began to justify it as being illegal.
Gotcha.
All right. Next up, 1939, Ogdensburg, New York, from the Ogdensburg Journal. Pinball machine licenses are issued in Vermont. So we'll kind of see the trend is it becomes made illegal in a lot of large cities, but then there's smaller areas that are like, who cares? It's fine. It's fine.
Well, there is a prison in Ogdensburg, and I have the feeling a lot of those inmates were a result of these massive sweeps of illegal pinball games.
That's true.
If I had to shoot a half-baked theory out into this conversation, let it be that.
Jim, if podcasts are for anything, it is half-baked theories.
That is how some people have made large swaths of money. I believe is half-cooked ideas that went out into the world. So yeah, if you're wondering why so many people were in prison in Ogdensburg, it was the massive pinball sweeps in the late 30s, early 40s.
Now, Jim, in
case you're wondering,
but there were pinball sweeps, and we're going to get to those.
Oh man,
that happened. All right, pinball machine licenses are issued in Vermont, and this is like front page news.
Sure.
Montpelier, Vermont. I don't know how to say that town name, but we don't have a podcast on Vermont, so I don't give a shit. All right. Tax Commissioner.
How to say that shit.
Tax Commissioner E.M. Harvey issued today the first licenses granted in Vermont for operation and maintenance of pinball machines. He said he was satisfied operation of the machines involved a substantial amount of skill. So again, this is this ongoing debate. Is it skill? Is it all pure chance?
Right.
All right. And then one final article to really drive this point home comes from Ausable Forks. This is up in the Adirondacks, like the High Peaks region. All right. And from April 28th, 1938, the Record Post. Pinball machine, no gambling device. A Saranac Lake jury composed of 3 men and 3 women a few days ago acquitted William Sullivan, a businessman of that village, of maintaining a gambling device in his establishment and that he had a pinball game in his place. District Attorney Lawrence of Franklin County prosecuted the case in Justice Court. That's a little redundant. At the conclusion of the deliberation, the jury found the accused not guilty and that the machine itself was not a gambling machine. The justice of the peace before whom the case was tried refused to issue an order asked for by the district attorney directing that the machine be destroyed.
And I could bet that DA was like, I can't believe this is in front of me right now.
No, the DA is the one I think that wanted it to get smashed. He's the one pushing for it.
But like, I think there had to have been a point during this entire process where he's like, you know what? I've gone after murderers. I've gone after rapists. I've gone after bank robbers. And this is where I'm at.
I'm telling you, man, on the law enforcement side, this was like the gateway drug of crime, basically.
Sure.
Like I think it was, I read an article about the Catskills where like some farmer had pinball machines out in his barn and police got wind of it, raided it, like started smashing them with hammers and like, I think it went to court and the judge was like, who gives a shit? But you can't unsmash a pinball machine, right?
You can't. I've tried.
It's true.
You can't. It's not. It's really as hard as it sounds to do that.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, like in echoing that judge's sentiment of who gives a shit. It's wild to see what like this era will latch onto as what is evil, right? Because like this, even just as a side note of just like prohibition, right? Where just like alcohol is like, not only is alcohol is bad for you, right? But that was like, it is a sin.
Yep.
And you are going to go to hell if you drink. This feels on the same level of if you play pinball.
Oh yeah. You're going to start stealing. You're going to smoke. You're going to drink. Like it's all of that. Corrupting the youth through the allure of the silver ball. All right, so we get to a really famous incident for pinball in the entire country. This is 1942, and it happens in New York City.
Right.
This is from the History Channel. After the city council approved Mayor LaGuardia's ban on pinball machines in public spaces on January 21st, 1942. And he really pushed for this, thinking there's a lot of thinking too that pinball machine ownership was tied to the mob at the time. Probably not really true. But he's like, get these fucking things out of here. Police squads raided candy stores, bowling alleys, bars, and amusement centers all throughout New York City. They confiscated 2,000 machines in like a day. Jim, these things are heavy.
I was going to say, I have seen a pinball machine before.
Multiple hundreds of pounds. Or 150 pounds per machine. They're big. They're big.
Yeah.
This was believed to be a fifth of the city's total pinball machines, rounded up in a day. Taking lead basically from government officials who were rounding up barrels of moonshine. This is a big publicity stunt.
Right.
And LaGuardia and other police chiefs assembled the press and smashed pinball machines with sledgehammers. There's like pictures of LaGuardia smashing a pinball machine. It's crazy.
That's insane. by the way, for the record.
Oh, it gets crazier. They then rounded up all of these broken pinball machines, loaded them onto garbage barges, and dumped them in the Long Island Sound, where they are still rest. 2,000 pinball machines at the bottom of the Long Island Sound.
That's so insane. and just like a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Indeed. It said that the harvest of contraband pinballs was said to contain enough metal to build 4 2,000-pound aerial bombs. It's a lot of metal. A
lot of bombs.
Yeah. So thanks, History Channel. So this is a significant moment in that a lot of major cities follow suit in banning it. After this happens, across the United States. We'll hear from Buffalo and Syracuse later, but it gets banned there as well. However, it still kind of continues to gain in popularity, and again, it's still legal in these other pockets. And between 1955 and 1970, pinball games made more money than the entire American movie industry.
That's fucking insane,
right?
By the way,
that's crazy.
That is kind of wild to think that.
And it's not even legal in like major cities, right? Like it's super popular. You talk to people from that were around that time, and like every laundromat, gas station, corner store, they were just everywhere. Pinball machines were everywhere.
Sure.
All right, so we're still in New York City. I'm very sorry. I know this is not Understanding Downstate. It's a much shittier podcast than ours. Oof. But again, this is another significant moment. We're going to get back to Upstate. We're going to talk about a great pinball machine that ties directly to Binghamton.
Oh, I'm ready for that.
It's a little teaser. So 1976, there's a famous hearing in front of the New York City City Council. And this guy named Roger Sharp, who actually worked for GQ magazine. He's still alive today, still around, still on the pinball scene. He was recruited by the Amusement and Music Operators Association to testify that the game was not a game of chance, but in fact a game of skill. And by testify, I mean play a game of pinball in front of these council members. And infamously, they were supposed to play on one machine. He knew ahead of time, so he'd been practicing on it. But when he got there, they're like, "We know you're bullshit. We're going to have you play this secret machine we have in the back room." So it's like a machine you don't know. So they go back there, and he says, this is like a literal quote, "Look, there's skill, because if I pull the plunger back just right, the ball will, I hope, go down this particular lane." And he pulled it back, shot the pinball, boom, it goes down the lane. City council's convinced. Ban is lifted. And the shot heard around the world, Jim.
Meanwhile, this is New York City, 1976. So the city is on fire. There are dumpsters in Times Square. Yeah. There are sections of New York that you'll die if you walk into. You will die, and not in the hyperbolic boomer, don't walk down where those people live, they'll kill you. No, you'll die. Yeah. This is New York City in 76. So there are city council that are like, you know what we need to focus on?
This is a good use of our time.
You know what really is commanding our attention? Not the city. Oh, look, not raw sewage everywhere, but this fucking pinball machine.
There we go. Couldn't have said it better myself, Jim. So this kind of ushers in a new golden era of pinball, and like pinball innovation. We're starting to get computers involved pretty soon. And again, since New York City repealed it, I think LA may have repealed it first, but this is like a very famous incident, or not incident, a very famous occasion, I guess, in pinball history.
Sure.
Restrictions starting to loosen up all across the country. And let's head to Buffalo. So this is from 1980, and it's still kind of has this stigma, even in the early 80s in upstate New York, which is kind of crazy. Like, I was blown away to read this. So this is from the Buffalo Courier Express, Friday, November 28th, 1980. New pinball games raise questions. Space Invaders or Galaxia may not be pinball in the minds of the players, but it is in the eyes of the law, according to Buffalo's law department. Pinball is illegal in Buffalo, although the city is surrounded by suburban communities where the game is legal. It was declared illegal 28 years ago after a massive pinball scandal shook the city. The scandal reached the top echelons of the police department and city government and left many stunned before it faded after some sensational trials, which, I gotta tell you, Jim, didn't find any headlines elsewhere about that. But I think they allude to... Oh, no, here, let's hear about the scandal. The scandal erupted as a result of a grand jury investigation of so-called $100,000 slush fund allegedly amassed for the purposes of paying off police and city officials by pinball distributors. Some 40 persons, mostly small-time tavern owners, were cited by the grand jury. However, a deputy police commissioner, 2 police captains, and several councilmen went to trial. The deputy commissioner and the 2 captains were eventually convicted of accepting payoffs. Their names were later cleared when a higher court reversed the convictions. Oh boy. So that it kind of, again, this is more about like how more modern video games, like computer graphics and stuff, are still considered illegal in fucking Buffalo in 1980. Wild stuff. But still, there's this, fallout for arcades in general and pinball in upstate New York. And then we have kind of a similar thing here from Syracuse, 1981. This comes from the New Times, January 21st, 81. Minimum age for pinball tilts Syracuse arcade. Great headline.
I was going to say, that's strong. That's strong.
It's real good. Syracuse arcade owner Ray Myra says the city's 41-year-old ordinance prohibiting minors from operating pinball machines without parental supervision was the main reason he decided to close his Valley Plaza pinball arcade just 5.5 months after it opened. Business dropped considerably after Syracuse police began stringently enforcing the city's pinball ordinance at his arcade. Can you imagine being on the pinball beat? Jesus.
Well, again, I feel like there's probably some like psychotic cop, surprise, that is like, hey, we got to bust up this pinball because you know what happens when you play pinball? You start committing crime. Let's get in there and fuck up this guy's day.
Yep. And then, so this kind of goes on to talk more about like trying to change the ordinance, who's in support of it, who's not. Though it does give us an update on Buffalo. A state Supreme Court judge in Buffalo last month ruled video games such as Space Invaders are games of skill, not chance, and should not be prohibited by the city. So finally in 81, get a little movement there in Buffalo. Pretty great.
The city came to its senses.
It's true. So again, it takes some time. These restrictions are eased up. We get, again, computer graphics and just technology start to get infused into pinball machines. But similarly, again, we have video games now too. So we're looking for new ways to make pinball exciting. Get some key advancements, get multi-ball. That's what it sounds like. You get to play with more than one ball at a time. Pretty great. You get little video screens, dot matrix displays is what they're called. We get a super import machine, the Addams Family, based off of course, the Addams Family. It's great, but it leads to one of the best pinball machines ever made, and I'm not just saying that because we host an Upstate podcast. We get 1993's Twilight Zone, Jim.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I say every time I see it at an arcade.
That's right.
So basically, this machine had to be licensed in two ways. One, they had to license Twilight Zone, but then they had to license Rod Serling's likeness too. So like a lot of effort there. We got Rod Serling standing with his arms crossed on the back glass, standing in the infamous doorway. It kind of looks like a certain statue.
I was gonna say I've seen that statue before too, man. Not only I watched that statue come to life.
Mm-hmm.
That shit come to life, baby.
We've got there's like a lot of tie-ins with the actual show, a lot of references. They also made some shit up, but like keeping in theme, I think they did a pretty good job.
Right,
guys, if you see this pinball machine, go play it. It's great. It's good. It's again, you owe it to Binghamton to play it.
Fucking right.
Jim, we got to keep it moving because we're running out of time and we have not really talked about the national tournament coming up here. So let's move to present day and let's go to Rochester where the tournament is going to be held this year. There is this place called the Rochester Pinball Collective, and they're actually hosting the championship this year. It's open to the general public, located in East Rochester, features over 75 different machines dating back to the 50s up to today. And basically, I think this was started by a group of 5 people who had a ton of pinball machines and decided to put their collections together. And it's like a real hub for pinball, and not just in upstate New York, but like nationally. It's
right.
Everyone knows about the Rochester Pinball Collective.
And so they are, I guess, so these are people who are bringing their pinball machines, or they've collected them over the years?
I think collected them over the years, put their collections together to create basically like this arcade, right?
Because here I am thinking that this is like a pool hall, and you bring a pinball machine like you would carry a pool stick into said venue. Like, how on earth?
It sounds like a pretty good idea. You could bring like your own pinball, I guess. You could.
Sure. But then how would you load it into the machine?
I mean, you got to take the lock bar off, slide the glass out, drop it in. It's possible. Probably you're gonna get some looks. You're gonna get some looks.
Sure. It's gonna get hot in there. Is what you're saying.
It's true. True. So the Rochester Pinball Collective, again, they're hosting the national championship. So let's talk a little bit about the IFPA, which is the International Flipper Pinball Association, who is putting on this event. They put on pinball tournaments all across the world each year. And let's learn a little bit about them.
Let's get into it.
The objective of the IFPA is to serve as the governing body for pinball as a competitive sport through the sanctioning and organizing of events at the local, state, national, and international levels. The sport of pinball has been dormant for far too long. The IFPA fervently believes that pinball can once again be viewed as a legitimate form of competition as well as leisure time entertainment for both skilled and novice players. We are working hard to elevate the awareness and visibility of pinball across the globe and generate media coverage and corporate backing to bring the sport of competitive pinball back into the spotlight.
Man, imagine making your fucking millions on the strength of a pinball association. That to me is wild. And also the other thought that jumped in my head is like, and I thought about this with like other sports. It's just like, where are the like NBA level scandals involved with this, right? Like who's like the Dennis Rodman of the pinball league, right? Like who's the fucking wild card? That's what I'm after.
I mean, I'll tell you. So I compete in some IFP sanctioned events.
Sure.
I may or may not be a ranked player. Not that high, but like 14,000th. I'm in the 14,000s, which I did the math, and it's like if we're like looking at it in terms of baseball, it's like I played college ball, but like D2, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I got the,
you know,
I see where we're going here.
You know, I'm playing in the softball league, and like someone's like, this guy can play baseball, but you know, I'm not to the lay person. I'm all right.
Right.
And it's a pretty good community. At least here, like I play just in
That's
like
cool.
Brooklyn tournaments, and like even from what I've actually played internationally a little bit. You know, and I would say everyone's pretty cool for the most part.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it sounds like it's a very like niche community, and that like everybody knows everybody, and if you don't know one person, you know somebody within that world.
That's pretty accurate.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to triangulate people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally I see where we're at with this.
All right, so let's jump ahead a little bit. The IFPA has created the World Pinball Player Rankings, which are referred to as Whoppers, which I love.
Of course they are.
To establish the first official ranking system of pinball players throughout the world. So if you compete in a tournament, you're getting some Whopper points, is the idea. Let's see. So let's jump ahead.
Are those transferable to Burger King?
God,
how does that work? What if?
I wish. I was thinking of the candy, but I don't know why I wasn't thinking of Burger King.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were going with that. But here I am.
So let's cut to the tournament, Jim. So we've got the official rules. Again, it's North American, which is United States, Canada. From what I understand, there's not a big pinball scene in Mexico. I think there's definitely like Mexico City has some pinball going on, but as of the 2024-2025 season, this is just going to be Canada and United States competing. So basically, you had to qualify for nationals by winning your state or province tournament, and I think and also DC had one, and that included the top 16 or 24 ranked players in each state.
Now this might be a silly question as a fish out of water here, but the game. So like, if you were to play in this, you would play in like a tournament. You would have like a traditional round of pinball, right? You'd get like 3 passes or
three balls, generally. Yep.
And then whatever your score is at the end of that, that's your score.
Yeah, highest score.
Pretty straightforward.
There's a lot of different formats for competing in pinball. I think there's like seeding too. Again, there's ranks. So like number 1 will play against number 16, 2, 15, and so forth. And there's generally a couple different rounds. And I believe the nationals will also be head to head. When you get to the more local level, like the IFPA tournaments I play in, you might have 4 people on a machine. Number 1, whoever comes in first with the highest score, they'll get 7 points. Then it's like 4, 3, and 1 or something like that. And then at the end of 5 rounds, whoever has the most points wins that tournament. There's also a thing called strikes. You get 3 strikes, and then you're out of the tournament, or you get 4, some predetermined amount, and whoever's the last person standing wins the tournament. Sure. So a lot of different formats. And let's see. There's some prizes to be had. There's actually a cash prize. First place. Actually, there isn't a cash prize for first place. First place, you win a pinball machine. New inbox, Stern Pro pinball machine, which is like, I think this is $5,000 to $6,000. You get a trophy and you get title of North American Pinball Champion. Second place, you're getting $4,000.
I wouldn't mind placing second.
Yeah.
If I'm going to keep it real with you.
Third's coming in at 3,250 and a plaque, and it kind of drops from there. But 33rd through 58th, you're walking away with $300.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all.
That buys you a pretty nice evening in Rochester, I bet.
Man, that could buy you parts of Rochester if you really, really wanted to get down for it.
There you go. And again, it starts at 9 a.m. and finishes at 10 p.m. basically. There's an hour practice session, and it runs until it's finished, which again can be pretty long. They do a mix of machines. 3 sets of 8 machines will be available for the championship. One set will be designated as old, one set mid, rude, and one set as new. So you're going with like historical, probably mid, I assume, is like 80s-ish machines to 90s. New is obviously going to be your like brand new machines. And again, so this tournament will be head-to-head single elimination format. Again, with that kind of seating we talked about earlier. Jim, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Before we close it out, we got to shout out the New York representative, who is Eric Russell, who's hailing from Syracuse. Really glad that they made it legal for people to play there eventually. But Eric will be representing New York State, so good luck. Or I guess not good luck, because this is after the fact, but you know what I mean.
Right. We hope it all works out for you. And whatever that looks like, right? Whatever that looks like.
Indeed. Hey, you know what? I got no transition because we got to get the hell out of here, Jim. Listeners should subscribe, rate, and review the show. If you like learning about pinball, great. If you didn't, we're never gonna talk about it again. I've used all of my Upstate pinball topics, so don't be mad. It'll
never be spoken of again here in the Understanding Upstate.
It's true. But if you didn't like it, you can still give us a 5-star rating and a positive review and suggest something else for us to cover in a future.
And if
episode.
you don't like it, get the fuck out of it. Turn it off right now. No, I'm kidding. Please don't.
Hey, do you have some things that our listeners can turn on to listen to in the future, Jim?
Oh my gosh, do I ever? Let's just say that you mopped the floor with everybody in the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
You fucking slayed. You slayed everyone. You are riding high, right? And you've got money. You won a pinball machine, flipped it for $5,000 to $6,000, and now you got no other way to spend it. Well, here's what you do. You go pick up a copy of my album, Upstate Understanding. It's available at jimsearch.bandcamp.com. Of course, produced by Rob Adler, and you can get it on all digital streaming platforms. That's a good place to go for it. And shit, man, the world is yours. Run up everything on that Bandcamp site while you're at it.
Mm-hmm.
Jimsearchcomedy.com is a good place to see where I'm going to be. Speaking of places I'm going to be, March 28th, I will be in Binghamton, New York for Stellar Presents. That's right. The show's coming back again. We got the incomparable Stephen Brown hosting. My guy Josh Alba is going to be featuring. I'm going to headline that show. So go pick up tickets. We can put those tickets in the show notes. Yeah. Woo. Hell yeah. Run that up. Go see me there. And it's going to be the time of your life. Rob, they bought out the show. They bought all the tickets for the show. They're ready to rock and roll, but yet still have more money to spend. Can you help them with where they can put their money?
I sure can. Let's just say you're Mayor LaGuardia and you've just smashed, personally, 2,000 machines with a sledgehammer. You're tired. It's a lot of glass and wood and metal flying around. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to grab my album, New York Sticky. You're going to take a load off. You're going to relax. You're going to put the sledgehammer down because you're a goddamn maniac. You're going to throw that album on. And you're going to feel great. You're going to recharge. You're going to be able to smash another 2,000 tomorrow. Okay? It's perfect. So grab that. Again, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. Jim, do you got a hint for next week's episode? We're really flying through this closing here.
I was going to say, we're moving and grooving here. Well, I'm going to be frank. I think you're going to love it.
I like it. That's pretty good. pretty good. You know what's not going to be good? My closing pun. Are you ready for it, Jim? It's going to be kind of inside baseball here, but
let's go.
I got
Let's
one.
go.
Well, Jim, I just shot the ball into the upper play field. Got a high score. So let's get the hell on out of here.
Bye. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.